There's something deeply unsettling about sitting alone in the cockpit of your shuttle, watching a gas giant rise over a frozen moon's horizon while your oxygen meter ticks down. No dramatic music, no quest markers, just you, the hum of failing life support, and the crushing reality that your next hyperspace jump might be your last. Welcome to the new wave of indie space games that stopped trying to make space feel like an adventure and started making it feel real. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button for Pulse Gaming. We cover the games that push boundaries, and trust me, these 3 titles redefine what space simulation means. Also, check the description for affiliate links to support the channel. Now, let's talk about why these games are making players genuinely uncomfortable. Intersolar 83 doesn't want you to feel like a space hero. Developer Joe Chisholm, who previously created Go for Launch Mercury, a historically accurate spaceflight simulator that worked with data from the NASA History Office, built this game around a simple premise. It's the 1980s, humanity has the star drive, and you're piloting Intersolar Shuttle number 83 across procedurally generated solar systems with technology that stores kilobytes of data on takes. The game originally launched in VR and added non-VR support in September 2025, opening it up to a much wider audience. What makes it uncomfortable is the solitude. You're not leading a crew or building an empire. You're managing your ship's resources during hyperspace jumps that actually matter. Most space games treat hyperspace like a loading screen, but Intersolar 83 makes it gameplay. You're conducting research, crafting resources, repairing systems, and making strategic decisions while traveling between stars. The game uses real physics to simulate vast distances, so when you're drifting through an asteroid field near a gas giant, the sense of scale hits differently. The 1980s aesthetic isn't just a gimmick either. Your ship has an actual 8-bit computer you interact with, complete with that chunky retro interface. You manually refuel from wrecked shuttles using physics-based extendable hoses. You need to wear your spacesuit and manage oxygen when you leave the ship, because the game introduced player death mechanics. Extreme temperatures can damage your ship, systems fail, and when something goes wrong in the middle of nowhere, there's no respawn point nearby. The procedural generation creates full-scale solar systems. We're talking nebulae, frozen moons, asteroid rings, authentic main-sequence stars with accurate size and color variations. Every system feels different, and you can generate entirely new galaxies from numerical seeds. The loneliness is intentional. One player described it as a thoughtful and awe-inspiring trek through the vastness of space, and that's exactly what it is. No hand-holding, no safety nets, just survival. Now let's talk about NTL, No Time Left, which takes a completely different approach to making space feel real. Developed by Gonzo Technologies, this is a real-time tactical roguelike focused on capital ship combat using Newtonian physics with damped velocity. That's a fancy way of saying your ship actually behaves like a massive object in space. You command a starship through a galaxy-spanning conspiracy, and every decision counts because permadeath progression means your mistakes have permanent consequences. The game gives you real-time combat with a tactical pause feature, so you can issue precise orders while burning at full speed or drop into pause to line up broadsides, prioritize targets, and triage damage as it happens. What's uncomfortable here is the power management system. You're constantly hot-swapping power between engines, shields, weapons, and support systems on the fly. Shields are failing, fires are breaking out, modules are taking damage, and you're deploying drones to attack, defend, and patch hull breaches mid-fight because your ship is coming apart and you need those critical systems online. The game's encounters respond uniquely to your ship's current state. Your weapons, drones, sensors, and power setup change what options you have in any given situation. Sometimes you find a safer solution. Sometimes you spot a bigger risk that might yield better rewards. The roguelike structure means every run feels different, and the seamless portal travel keeps you moving through space without loading screens breaking the immersion. NTL just added Steam achievements in January 2026, with custom artwork and both milestone achievements and hidden challenges. The game's currently in development and coming to Steam, but early community feedback has been praising how the physics-based combat creates genuinely tense moments. When you're managing shield strength while salvos chew through your defenses, and you're trying to keep your engines powered enough to maneuver, that's when the game stops feeling like a power fantasy and starts feeling like actual naval combat in the void. Then there's Ephemeris, and this one's interesting because it approaches realism from a strategic level rather than a simulation level. This is a turn-based 4X space strategy game with real-time 3D combat, drawing inspiration from classics like Master of Orion and Homeworld. Solo developer Tumas Poithuri has been working on this passion project for over 4 years, and it recently secured €200,000 in funding from German investors after a successful crowdfunding campaign caught their attention. The uncomfortable realism in Ephemeris comes from its randomly generated tech tree. Every playthrough, the tech tree is randomized and common to all civilizations. You're exploring hidden technologies just like you're exploring the galaxy map. This means you can't rely on your favorite strategy every game. You have to adapt. The physics-based combat features huge size differences between the smallest fighters and the biggest battleships, and the physically simulated movement gives battles a distinct look that feels grounded despite the space setting. You design your own spaceships using parts unlocked from the tech tree: hulls, shields, power sources, drives, weapons with different mounting types. Your ship design affects how they perform in combat because the game calculates mass and size, impacting maneuverability. The strategy layer is streamlined to minimize micromanagement, which keeps the game moving even in late stages when you're managing multiple planets and fleets. The game handles diplomacy, ground combat, and resource management across 4 different resources: food, minerals, research, and credits. But what makes it feel real is that peaceful approaches can fail. You can try diplomacy, and if it doesn't work, you unleash your fleets, and the 3D real-time combat plays out with actual physics determining outcomes. Ships don't just fly around like fighters, they move like capital vessels, with momentum and positioning actually mattering. Ephemeris is targeting an early access release within the next year, and the developer has been transparent about the journey. He posted a YouTube video going through the entire development process, including all the struggles and surprises. That kind of honesty from indie developers creates a different relationship with players, especially when the game itself is built on systems that don't compromise realism for convenience. What ties these 3 games together is their refusal to make space comfortable. Intersolar 83 isolates you with survival mechanics and real distances. NTL puts you in command of a ship that can actually die, forcing you to manage cascading system failures. Ephemeris removes the safety of knowing what tech you'll research next, making every campaign a fresh challenge. They're all coming from small teams or solo developers who clearly love space simulation enough to spend years building systems that respect how space actually works. Joe Chisholm spent time developing the spaceflight engine to accurately simulate distances and physics. Gonzo Technologies implemented Newtonian physics for capital ship combat instead of arcade-style flying. Tumas Poithuri built a physics simulation for hundreds of ships battling in 3D space. The gaming industry has plenty of space games that make you feel powerful. These 3 make you feel small. And in an era where most games are designed to be instantly gratifying, there's something refreshing about titles that demand you actually think about fuel consumption, power distribution, and whether that unexplored system is worth the risk when your ship is barely holding together. Intersolar 83 has a free demo available now with both VR and non-VR support, with the full game accessible through early alpha builds. NTL No Time Left is currently in development and will be coming to Steam. Ephemeris is targeting early access soon with an active Discord community. All 3 are worth watching if you want space games that challenge you instead of just entertaining you. So here's my question for you. Would you rather explore space as a powerful commander with unlimited resources, or struggle for survival as one tiny ship in an infinite void? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you want more coverage of indie games that actually try something different, subscribe to Pulse Gaming.